start, then nothing happens. You continue the journey. So, continue the journey. Life will not be disintegrated if we do the practice of meditation regularly. Intellect will continue to shine and give deeper insight. That is what the Daniel is talking about. And the life will remain in the river of happiness, peace, and wisdom. Regular practice continues to purify the mind and destroy the negative traits one after the other that has been accumulated since our birth. So that is why I named this series Freedom, Happiness, and Wisdom. When we are in a meditative state, means when the mind is reflecting our true nature, we experience this freedom, happiness, and wisdom. We discover that they are descending from the top down to the bottom. Sometimes you may feel as if you are under a shower and the water is pouring down on the skin of the body and you start feeling that sense of coolness. The same thing happens in deeper meditation inside, as if it has released all the anxiety, duality, conflict, pain, pleasure from the body, mind, intellect. So, yes, Lara can listen. So you see that what happens, what we are studying today is our fourth sutra. Vrati sarupyam itaratraha. So now we need to understand. The first sutra was yoga is the highest state of mindfulness. It is a discipline and education. In the second sutra we understood the mind should be emptied of its content, but we are very clear that not all the content should be emptied. Specific content should be emptied that causes anxiety, fear, duality, conflict, problem, suffering. Then the third sutra, last week we understood that what happens when you empty the mind of its content. When you empty the mind of its content, then what happens? Then I discover my real nature. What is that real nature? It is pure consciousness, which has 5 attributes: permanent happiness, love, wisdom, truth, and pure awareness. Now, if you do not live in a meditative state, then what happens? That needs to be properly and clearly understood. When we are not in a meditative state, mind goes back to the same habit. Do you remember the first 3 states are not meditative state? The mind starts living in the 3 meditative state based on the accumulated impressions. Then what happens? One example. We have a habit of reacting on a certain thing. So that habit is awaiting our expression even when we are relaxed. We try to be intelligent. No, I'm holding on my anger. I'm holding on my ego sense. So that holding on continues in a non-meditative state. You see, this great master has summarized everything in the first 4 sutras. Yoga is highest state of mindfulness. Mind lives in 5 subjective states. 3 states are, but if you live in 3 states, you cannot become a meditator. So in order to get rid of the three states, you have to become a seeker. Now the seeker empties the mind of its content. So when there is a sense of emptiness, that emptiness reflects our real nature. That is the third sutra. Then what happens if you do not live in a meditative state? Those three states are constantly working behind. I don't like you. I hate you. What you have done? So all those stuff, all those impressions are already present in me in a non-meditative state. That is what Patanjali says. What he says? Sarupyam itaratra. What he says? That if I am not living in a meditative state, then those trigger may come and manifest and express in my life anytime. And the entire peace is gone. Vrati sarupyam itaratraha. So until all those impressions are gone, we have to continue the journey of meditation. That is the simple meaning. That needs to be understood. But as you continue the journey, the intellect shines with the new knowledge. But if the master tells you that these are the experiences you will undergo in meditation, then what happens? The mind creates that in imagination. And that imagination becomes a fanciful in meditation. Then because I have been imagining the beautiful experiences in meditation, the mind does not become empty. You see, that's why I'm very careful. I don't tell you what is going to happen until you start experiencing. I reflect on it. This may happen. Just allow these experiences to come and go. So then what is the use of studying further? We have already completed the entire journey of meditation in 4 sutras. Why Patanjali gave 195 sutras? Think of it. What comes to your mind? Did you listen to that perhaps second or the third talk, which I told you that every sutra is linked to the next one? So what you can make out in the 4th sutra, how it can be linked to the next one, think of it. Because that is why the knowledge is required. If there is no right knowledge in meditation, chances, that is the reason the mind is wandering. That is the reason the mind falls into sleep. That is the reason mind says, I don't like this practice, I like this practice. Now I'm coming up, I'm opening up slowly. So the moment your mind says, I don't like this, I like this, the reason being there is no clarity, there is a confusion. You got married to your partner. You are living with him or her. I don't like my partner. Will that work? It will invite conflict. The same thing happens. So now see that we have 195 sutras. Want to know deeper, want to go deeper. Are you inspired by this Master Patanjali? What should be the next sutra? So the next sutra is that what are these thought patterns that needs to be emptied? Can I know it clearly? Can I understand it clearly? So that I will take up in the next. You see that? Now another question Patanjali answers whether these thought patterns are painful, gives you the pain or pleasure, or both. And if they give me a pain, how to remove it? And if it gives me the pleasure, is pleasure worth living my life? You see that. So that is how the journey goes. Now another question comes. What exactly is the practice of meditation? I want to understand first before I do it. So Patanjali takes up what is practice. What is practice of meditation? You see, that is how in the first 4 sutras he summarized everything. He says this is what it is. Finished. And then he digs our mind deeper and deeper and deeper. Understand how to drive, how to practice meditation, what exactly is the practice, what are the elements of the practice, what are the thought pattern that needs to be dropped or changed or transformed. There were 2 crazy young guys in their age of 23 and 24. So normally it happens in India. That's why we say India is a spiritual country, but nothing about spirituality. I'm just telling you the story that happens. So they saw different monks wearing the orange colored clothes. They have read couple of books that you get all the powers, in the journey of meditation, and if you become a monk, then all the problems and the pain and the suffering drops. So at their young age, they went to the tailor, got the orange clothes stitched, and in the middle of the night, they changed their clothes, and from Delhi, capital, they started the journey to the Himalayas in a train. In those days, long back in 84, 85, Now see what happened, because they did not have a right knowledge about what it means by becoming a monk. They read something, they wore the cloth, they are sitting in the train, they both were looking at each other, and they were totally quiet, as if the monk remains always quiet. So one of them had an urge to take a tea and a coffee, but they have read some popular books. Oh, the monk should not take coffee. So now the conflict started in their mind. It took 10 hours to reach to Rishikesh. In those days, there was a very slow train. So it used to take, passenger, we used to say passenger train. They came out. Now they were more disturbed in their mind how the people are looking at them, because they had a orange colored cloth. Then they went to a monastery. The head of the monastery saw that, oh, they are like me. So the room was given to them. Normally the room in those days, room was given to them free of cost. And 3 meals free. That is the beauty of India. Even you get 3 meals free, you get a room, and you can do the practice. So what happened? They both got a room, they entered into the room, and they started fighting. Is this the monkhood? Is this the journey of becoming a monk? They did not have the right understanding and the right knowledge what it means to become a monk. So being a monk from outside is a symbolic expression that he has no profession at all, and he has dedicated his life to the spirituality and self-discovery. Hence, whosoever looks at him wants to should help him, to feed him, to give him a room, and to give him a room to stay, to respect him, and to listen to his teachings. But these two guys did not know anything. That is our life. One of the young guy is the speaker. And then the conflict arose between both of us. The young guy said, now I will go back. I will never wear the monk. And I said, no, I don't want to go. You see, lot of conflict in the mind. But anyhow, I returned home again, and I never wore the orange-colored cloth again. But these are the experiences we undergo. Now apply this. I am running after the money. I am running after the job. I am running after a person whom I like and dislike, without understanding, without the proper knowledge. The mind goes into the stress and the suffering. So these kind of opposing thought enters into the mind when we do not practice meditation, when we do not have a right knowledge about meditation. So the master says, Vrati sarupyam itaratraha. In a non-meditative state, the mind lives in ignorance. What is that ignorance? Incomplete knowledge about myself. What is that incomplete knowledge about myself? Last point, and then we will practice meditation. It is very important. I become the doer and the enjoyer in my life. I will work hard. I will earn money. And I will enjoy. You see the doer and the enjoyer? From where this doer and the enjoyer comes. That builds up an ego sense, and that ego sense accumulates lot of impressions in our mind. And these impressions are very extremely hard to go. Object. I see an object. Sense organ sees an object. Mind likes it or dislikes it. It creates an attachment and detachment. The mind feels, if I grab it, I will be happy. But the happiness is not there in the object. But the mind feels that the happiness is there in the object. There comes a delusion, and the delusion creates an enjoyer and the doer. A non-meditative state always lives in being a doer and the enjoyer. I am also eating some words. Do you understand? Return it again. Return it again. Think of it again. Object. Any object. A person, a man, and a woman, or any article. The sense organs are attracted to it. Then the mind likes or dislikes it. That causes the attachment and detachment. Attachment and detachment causes to secure happiness in that object or a person. That is a delusion. And that delusion causes the enjoyer and the doer in me. Can you tell me, where is the doer in you? Take an example. If driver is not there, you cannot drive the car. Car is an instrument. Clear? Sense organ is an instrument. Mind is an instrument. Intellect is an instrument. Where is the doer? So in delusion, we The mind grouped them all together, and then it says, I am the doer and I am the enjoyer. It causes ego. Ego sense creates the doer and enjoyer. That doer says, I am fully busy. I am running my whole life. I did not achieve anything. That is why I am suffering. Right? And I have been working so hard. I earned lot of money. Now I don't have a luxury to eat what I like to eat. Did you understand? Nowadays, people die not because of hunger, but because of lot of choices for eating. You have 90% illnesses because of lifestyle. Are you getting it? Because I am the doer, because I am the enjoyer. So a non-meditative state of the mind causes the doer and the enjoyer in me all the time, and that causes endless suffering. And when you live in a meditative state, you know how to balance it. Why? The contents of the mind that is not required do not enter into your mind. That is what the Daniel was explaining before the beginning of his session. The intellect shines with the wisdom. Intellect, if I say, continues to shine with the wisdom. And that wisdom helps you in your personal excellence, in your professional excellence, in your social excellence. You need not to worry about it. It works. Remember, a meditative state and a non-meditative state. The fourth sutra, Vrati Sarupyam Itaratraha. Last simple meaning, if I don't live in meditative state, I am living in suffering, even if I experience peace and happiness. How I experience peace and happiness? Wake up in the morning and rock and roll music for younger people. I enjoy that music. So I'm getting the peace and happiness from outside. For them, it is their peace and happiness, and one day it breaks up. One day the delusion breaks up, then you start searching someone else. Then you get married, you divorce, you get married, you divorce. For what? For happiness. Why? Non-meditative person always perceives happiness is outside. That mind does not change in a non-meditative state. They get frustrated. They fight. Do you see that? So it means, I have been saying, again repeating, the intellect shines again and again. It becomes more creative because now it is in communication with the real self. So what should we have to do? You have traveled until now. We have to reach to a meditative state that is not reversible. You know, some of the chemical reactions are irreversible. We have to reach to that state. That is known as the success in meditation. No, I was explaining you before about the imagination. I closed my eyes. I said, mind crazy? You want to get attached to the body? I will show you. And I did that few minutes of the practice, and the body became so much light and free. Then I joined them all together. Don't do that practice. Disclaimer, let us start our journey. Let us do the practice. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. First is I am. Eyes are closed. I am. Awareness of I am. It is existence. I'm reminding you again and again and again. I am. Eyes are closed. And then I am. I know I am. That is consciousness. And because that I am is my real self, which is a common element, which is one everywhere, hence it is absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. That is our discovery in meditation. Looking at the body from outside. The body seems to be steady, and then looking inside the heart in the space, looking inside the heart in the space, and become aware of a point in the space. That is the calmness. Now link the two to get the right knowledge. The steadiness of the body in the beginning helps the mind to regain its natural focus within. That is why we lay an importance of sitting in a posture or a position of the body that is steady and relaxed. Then the word, I say, for example, I say Daniel, a name. So name has a shape and the size and the meaning and the knowledge. Similarly, we are going to follow this. This is going to be very important in our journey. After few more sessions, I'll go deeper. So look inside the heart in the space. You become aware of the spark of the calmness, and singing and listening in your mind 3 times. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. You don't want to know. At this time, the mind doesn't want to know the meaning. It just wants to sing and listen to what it is singing. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Now singing, listening and meaning. What is the meaning? Let there be a well-being everywhere. So what I am saying to the mind? Mind, you have need not to work hard. Can you see the state of well-being everywhere and include yourself? Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Now singing, listening and meaning. You pay attention to the singing and also the listening what you are singing in your mind. Why? The word disappears, but the sound, effect of the sound remains. Second point, the sound that you hear has no shape in the size. It merges, mind merges into the infinity. And if you do it with the meaning, the mind starts moving in that direction. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Now singing, listening, meaning and knowledge, applied knowledge. What is that knowledge? That this mind is seeing the well-being behind everything, behind my body, behind my mind, behind my intellect, behind my doer and the enjoyer. Not only in me, everywhere. Why? That is why we are meditating. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Second line, singing and listening only. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Singing, listening and meaning now. What is the meaning? Peace. Let peace be everywhere, in all the beings. Wherever, how far the mind can reach, I should see that peace. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Now what is the applied knowledge? You just see that. What is applied knowledge? I see you all, but while singing, I see that peace is behind you. Seeing Daniel, I see the peace behind him. When the teacher does like this, it awakens. It triggers the mind to move there. And when the seeker does like this, they evolve. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. See that. Week after week we are going little deeper into this journey of nada. Third line, Sarvesham, singing and listening. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Now singing, listening and meaning. What is the meaning? Completeness. One thing you should understand and reflect. In your life, when the mind says, I am complete in myself, what will happen? Desire will drop. Likes and dislikes will drop. Pain and the pleasure will drop. I am complete in myself, the way I am. Not in ignorance, but in wisdom. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Last year, this beautiful woman who had a private lesson with me, after 6 months, she was in her restroom and her mind started singing. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. And she told me that I continued chanting, but my mind was not on the meaning. When she came out of the restroom and she got the flash of the meaning, and she told me that her body was filled with the immense calmness and peace. One example, a lot of those things may happen, may not happen. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sense of completeness. Now the fourth line. Singing and listening. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Singing, listening and meaning. Auspiciousness. So when we say auspiciousness, it has to do with the from moment to moment. Let us do it singing, listening and meaning, and then we will go into the third phase. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. What is the meaning of this auspiciousness? Let me tell you today, and then we will take up in a deeper way in our next session. When the first mantra was well-being, second was peace, third was completeness. When the mind lives in all the three, they merge together, it becomes an auspicious moment. What is that auspicious moment? You wake up in auspicious moment. You are talking in auspicious moment. You are doing your business, auspicious moment. You are talking to your honey in auspicious moment. Look at it. See it. Can it happen in a day? If you are a seeker, it will happen. If you are not a seeker, it will not. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. What a life! When every moment is auspicious. It is a meditative state. Just recite Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Just follow the same singing and listening. Singing, listening and meaning. And singing, listening, meaning and the knowledge. Shanti means peace. Om means my real self. So what you see? The moment you see Om, you see behind your body. Here is the real self in me. Dwells in me. Shanti. That is made up of Shanti. Then body, breath, mind, life, intellect, and ego is Shanti. And the world outside is Shanti. Just do it one or two times more. And leave start breathing deep, silent and slow. My dear friends, if that auspicious moment can be attained in few minutes in meditation, doesn't it give you an idea, a belief and a trust that my life can enter into the auspicious moment all the time? That part you have to teach and educate your mind. I don't come anywhere. Start breathing deep, silent and slow into your... So now breath is the car, mind is the driver, and highway is the space. As you inhale, move the mind inside the right arm, from the shoulder to the fingertips in the space inside. As you exhale, move the mind from the fingertips to the shoulder. 3 points are there. Breath, car, mind, driver, highway. That means the space is the highway inside. So the mind is moving on the space continuously with the breath. What is happening? Did you remember I told you objects, senses, likes, dislikes, attachment, detachment, delusion, doer, enjoyer, they all drop. That is why we are doing Nyas. Move the mind inside the left arm. Do you need them? Ask yourself. Intellect should have a clarity. If the Clarity is not in meditation. That is why we find a lot of reactions. Mind is wandering, mind feels sleepy, mind doesn't receive the instruction clearly. See that? Beautiful. I appreciate you all. So move the mind inside the right leg from the right side of the waist to the toes. Mind in the breath moving inside, and mind is totally absorbed into the infinite space inside, or emptiness or darkness, whatever you say. Both are okay. How simple, how easy, how rewarding. Inside the left leg, we are doing hardly for a minute. So one of my friend and the student does 9 minutes in each limb. 1 hour passes like this. And then he says his body is filled with light. Don't do it. Reach to that 9 minute score. Meditation is not a junk food and instant food. Left leg. Now inside the spine, from the crown of the head to the tailbone, and from the tailbone to the crown of the head. So when the mind drops, not we, when this habitual mind drops, the entire chain of object, senses, likes, dislikes, attachment, detachment, delusion, doer, and the enjoyership. What happens? Let us experience. Why should I say? Leave that deep, silent, slow breath. Become aware of the space all around your body. As a cylindrical space, as if your body is inside the cylindrical space. And maybe that cylindrical space is around 3 or 4 feet all around your body at a distance. And then start moving the mind from the space all around to the body, the skin of the body. Have you seen in many movies, as the space starts becoming smaller and smaller and smaller and touches the skin, you become aware of the shape of the body. And with that shape of the body, you experience the sensation. That sensation deepens. You experience the stillness and you see the sense of calmness and quietness inside. Let us repeat it again. Repeat it again. The entire space all around. And you even apply the magic. With the magic, what happens? The space is being reduced, coming closer to the body. It is your mind. It's nothing like magic. You become aware of the shape of the body. And the more you are aware of the shape of the body, you feel the sensation. Sensation deeper than the sensation is the stillness. In that stillness in the body, deeper than the stillness is the calmness. Deeper than the calmness is the sense of quietness. In that quietness, walk your mind naturally without the breath from the crown of the head to the heart. Om. Whether you say Om or whether you say Om Shanti. And from the heart to the crown of the head, Om Shanti. Casually, walking casually. Here you are walking. No control. Take your own time. Mind is on the crown of the head inside. You become aware of the space. You are in the state of the quietness, and the mind is walking down. Reaches to the heart. Again you become aware of the space and quietness, saying Om Shanti. Raising it. Om Shanti. Do nothing. Remain as you are. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Do nothing, just remain as you are, as if the meditation has not concluded. And just check it. Is the mind making an effort to return, reminding you of the next agenda of today, what it means? In the background, during meditation, the mind had this thought. That is known as the impression that we create. That makes the body in an excited state. Bring the mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside, know your experiences, bring the hands down. And let us share first. Stephen, he has to go.
Thank you. It was a very quiet meditation that I felt. I felt that I was just in this room of just bright white light the
Good.
entire time.
Beautiful.
So I didn't move to any high level. I didn't move to any low level. I was there, and I heard, listened, followed every part, focused on the points, focused on my body, my breath, the movement, and it was just stable from start to finish.
Beautiful meditation. You see, in higher meditative state, we lose the duality. What is the meaning? The mind has created that you and me are different as a delusion. Right and the left hand as a delusion. North, east, west direction as an illusion. Does these direction exist? The answer is no. Same way, the high-low does not exist. The mind enters into the state of equanimity. That is the way it should be. Sangeeta, kaise ho?
सर बहुत अच्छा था। और जब मंत्र का उच्चारण था तो सर आज इतना ज्यादा ग्रेटिट्यूड था गुरुदेव और आपके प्रति कि मैं रोती रही उतना टाइम।
She continued having tears in her eyes during the chanting. Yes.
और बाद में सर बहुत मतलब एकदम
शांत हो गया. Tears of joy. Yes, that is also a release. Good. How are you, Laura? You should have prepared a breakfast for me also.
Well, I didn't prepare breakfast. Eric did. I was teaching before I got here.
Okay.
So I also, during the chanting, especially during the Purnam, I had this really big sensation kind of right in the pineal gland or something kind of right in front of my face. It was really calm, and then I kind of was very quiet in this space. It just felt spacious.
Yeah.
And then when you started at the end to do Om Shanti, it was like this big bright light,
big
like
bright
a yellow
light.
kind of came, and I was like, oh.
That's yeah, that is good. I think we are going deeper by deeper every day, so I will pick up. I will advance that practice from the week. How are you, Daniel?
Thank you. So for me, it was very quiet, similar to what Stephen described. Like I had
Good.
a feeling that my body is made from metal. Like it was like super stable.
Super
Also,
still.
and I reached the point that I had a feeling that I do not control my body because it's like frozen. And only one activity was breathing. And so breathing was only me and breathing. I didn't need anything more. And also when you started chanting, I recognized it as it started disturbing me because I didn't expect it. I preferred to stay
In
this
that
metal
state.
position.
Yeah, that's another good experience. You see that? The matter, I have been saying it, body is a matter. The matter does not know itself and the matter does not know others. What it means? Smartphone, does the smartphone know itself? No. Does it know others? No. So that is why, that is the definition of inertness in Eastern wisdom. Now, I'm not going into physics. So that sense of inertness is what you are explaining, like a metal frame. There's a super stillness. Confirms the mind is living within. How are you, Sam?
I'm really good. I had a very interesting experience today when you were doing some of the chanting at the beginning. I noticed, or I felt like my spine was stretching out, and my head, I had this image of almost like my head was a balloon, and it was just going.
That's
And
another
my
beautiful.
body was staying stiff, and right now I just feel so, like my back is so relaxed, my whole body is relaxed. The thing I had trouble with was the body checks, because I think everything was just up here today. And I was just lengthening, and then, I got a big flash of light when you started chanting at the end, but it was really awesome.
It's a beautiful. That's another. It shows that the prana is rising up. This is the center of, you can say, what I can say. It is the center of Rama, the highest consciousness. And the tailbone is the center of the fear and the anxiety and the desires and the craving and the suffering. Only one energy flows in between the two. When this energy starts moving down because of the mind, it causes anxiety, stress, duality, conflict, and the same energy because of the mind rising up, coming here, has to do with the peace and happiness. That is why you say the body felt relaxed and calm. How are you, my friend Tatiana? Where are you? Unmute first.
I try to find the speaker. So, hi everyone. I have skipped a week, but Guruji, today I felt I'm still not here. So half of my body is here, and this state doesn't leave me at the moment. What I felt deep lightness everywhere.
Very good.
Nevertheless, I got a lot of thoughts before the meditation disturbing me. During the meditation, almost no thoughts at all. And Shanti, not Om Shanti, but Shanti, now looks like an animal. I cannot explain, but it's like an animal living in my heart. So something fluffy in my heart.
Yeah.
Something like this one.
Yeah, so you see that they are frequent experiences. We may have beautiful experiences. But I wonder if you have heard my talk that we have to become a seeker on the path. The seeker on the path never fails. So when you are a seeker, means like how do you become a driver of a car? You you know the rules of the road, you know the skill set of the driving. Similarly, meditator, first, that meditator is a seeker. He knows the rules of the road, she knows the rules of the road to treat the path of meditation, and he has or she has the skill sets. Don't ask me what are the skill sets. That I have been covering almost every week. It cannot be done in a day. So why it cannot be done in a day? Because the seed cannot become a tree overnight. So watering, putting some fertilizer, sun rays, My honey keeps some of the plants outside now. It is going to be winter, but she has kept it inside. So that we need to protect this mind with certain attributes and traits. Last thing, did you pick up one thing? We must have a clarity. The knowledge must be there. What is meditation? How to do it? Where to do it? What to do it? So when I have a clarity, this mind is never distracted. Like the highway, I know this is the right lane driving in my country, so I will never drive on the left lane. So when the right lane driving is there and I am driving on the left lane, that is the meaning that I have lot of thoughts. Don't worry, Tatiana, you go back, you come back, but continue. You get all those files. So please continue the journey, continue the practice.